Hello, hello, hello. Sunday afternoon, and a friend of mine was suggesting that maybe I should talk about the way in which I've replaced coming off citalopram. For those of you who follow the channel, followed our How Do You Feels, you probably know that I was diagnosed with depression and anxiety about 2 years ago. I've had I've been on a treatment of citalopram for a while, and that's something that a lot of people are on. I mean, it's almost pill-poppingly common. Even Adrian Chiles talked about it in his documentary earlier last week, Drinkers Like Me. But I was just beginning to find that they kind of just made my head a bit sort of misty, a bit foggy. I felt slightly distanced from not necessarily being able to do anything, because that would be sort of almost causing the same side effects as depression. But I don't know, my passions and my loves, I wasn't feeling anything extremely or acutely, and so anyway, I just didn't like the way in which the highs and the lows had been sort of almost ironed out, and I was in this sort of medium sort of flow, and it was just I just felt like I wasn't being me. I felt like I was in a fog. So anyway, so I came off those, but it was a very slow process of coming off those over 3 months. I discussed it with other people who'd done similar things, discussed it with my doctors, and we agreed that across 3 months we'd just come down by 5 meg per month. And so I've been off them now for about 2.5 months, 3 months. But I've made a commitment to running, and I've always been a runner since I was 40, but to running always every day for 2 miles, which amounts to no more than 20 minutes if I'm slow, 18 minutes if I'm fast. But religiously, I've done that each day. And I have to say, it's been an enormous help managing the anxiety that I feel. Now, Nadia would say I need to embrace things like meditation and mindfulness and all these kinds of things. But I don't know, I'm just one of those people who needs to feel like I'm moving somewhere quite fast, and running is quite a nice way of doing that. Driving doesn't do it because you just get stressed and you get into rouse, but running does it. But there are some days where just the very act of trying to get out of the house and do a run can seem insurmountably hard to even to do. But it's got to the point now where I know that if I don't do it, it's almost like not taking my medicine. But it's funny because when I go on these runs, or when I am running for that 20 minutes, and I won't do any more at the moment. Occasionally I'll build up to a race, I'll do a 5K or a 10K, but I'm past the days of doing enduro running and marathons and all that kind of thing. I'm definitely doing this to manage myself on a daily basis. So I couldn't recommend it more. That said, when I'm running, God, I mean, I've always wanted to make a film from the point of view of what's going on in the headspace of a runner, because you have so many abstract thoughts, you have so many life-changing moments just in the space of 2 miles. You can start a run from what feels like the bottom of a well, looking up at a spot pinhole of light, to, as you move through the run, quite literally, your body's not going anywhere, you're screaming at your legs to move, you feel the depression and lethargy and just a resistance to kind of doing anything. And then slowly, as you move faster and you move faster, you quite literally, air passes through you, your blood starts pumping around your body, and I presume it goes to your brain. And, come what may, you find yourself adrenalized, you find yourself in a much better place. It's funny, I mean, I've also said a lot about how I hate sunny weather. I love running in extreme heat because it's unbearable. That's weird. I also love running in torrential rain because for other people that's unbearable. So it's really cool because, even the most awful conditions, I feel like I'm conquering something. It's like when the sun's out, everyone is out and everyone's happy. And I've said many times how I find that intimidating. I find it really difficult with my outlook on the world and my moods. to share in the joy of that. So when Nadia wakes up and throws open the curtains and says, "Oh, it's a beautiful day," I kind of just want to dive back under the covers and just bury myself and disappear. And yet, if I head out for a run in the baking sun and it's 30, 33 degrees heat, I'm kind of conquering it. I'm kind of taking ownership of it. But weirdly, I'm taking ownership of it by making it really unbearable for myself, if you know what I mean. So there's a bit of masochism in there. So there's a sort of masochistic therapy in making myself run every day. I've run now 2 miles every day for, I think, 4 months actually, with only 2 days off. And those were, one day off was for Kiki's birthday, and the other day off was the day after doing a race. And it has helped. It helps keep me on an even keel. That said, I do get a little bit sort of frantic if I'm looking at my day, like today I had a very busy shooting day, and if I can't see a window for it, I can, like an addict, become a little bit obsessed about where am I going to put it, how am I going to do it, and all that sort of stuff. But I think it's been a real help. It's been a real help. And I often go on, I feel like I come on and talk with Nads about all the problems around things and how difficult things are, and I don't want to be a moaner. So I just wanted to share how running is really working for me. But what works for you guys? I'd love to know what other sort of strategies you've got, what other sporting activities. I'm very sporty. I miss sport. I miss competitive sport. I had a bad footballing injury from many years ago. So I miss that whole competitive sports thing. So I compete against the clock. I'm always trying to go a bit faster. I'm always trying to go, well, I used to try and go a bit further. I mean, I'm not at the moment. But, what works for you guys? What other ideas have you got that are sort of based in physical activity? Just thought I'd share that thought with you. Go for a run. Go for a walk and a run. I mean, I've started taking the girls running, and it's just, it doesn't matter if you walk for 90% of it, as long as you go up to a run for a little part of it. That's how I started 10 years ago. Walk, run. That's all you need to do. Anyway, hope everyone's having a good Sunday. Speak soon.